Happy Holy Hump Day on this January 26th, everyone. I'm Pastor Robert. Welcome to this midweek time where I can share some spiritual thoughts and reflections with you. Today happens to be our Holy Hump Day producer's birthday, Bob McDowell. So we want to say happy birthday to Bob. Here's a picture of him. He's a very shy person, but I was able to take this picture of him. So happy birthday, Bob. Thank you for all you do. We wouldn't be able to do these Holy Hump Day videos without you. Thank you. Today I want to focus on Bible translations. And I often get asked as a pastor, what Bible translation should I use? That's a great question because there are over 200 Bible translations from which to choose. And the reason for that is because the Bible was originally written in the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek languages. And so we have all of these Bible translations. And so, for example, we have the King James Version. That's one that a lot of people are familiar with. It was written in the early 1600s, and it's a beautiful translation. But again, it was written in the early 1600s, and the English language has changed so much to the point where sometimes when I'm reading the King James Version, it's almost like I'm reading a foreign language. And I do think that there are some very beautiful parts of the King James Version, like Psalm 23. I don't think I can ever read Psalm 23 without reading it from the King James Version. So just those kinds of examples. And then other people maybe are familiar with the New Revised Standard Version. That is the official version that we use here at Athens First United Methodist Church in our worship services. That's what I use in all of my Bible studies, the New Revised Standard Version. It was first printed in 1990, and it was based on the Revised Standard Version, and then it was based on a version before that one, so it has been reissued, but the most recent one was printed in 1990. And I just find that as a good blend between trying to get those ancient words perfectly translated into our modern day English language. I think they have done a pretty good balance of that. And then we also have like paraphrases, and probably the most popular paraphrase that I know about, and one that I refer to once in a while, the Message translation. And that was written by Eugene Peterson not too long ago. And Eugene Peterson had this incredible skill as not only a pastor, but as a Christian writer and as a poet. And he was able to beautifully take these ancient languages and put it in a readable way that as soon as you hear that scripture, you really get the gist of what's being said. So the caution that I have, though, with the Message translation or any paraphrase of the Bible is we are relying on that person who's using a very loose translation in order to get more of the vernacular, more of the everyday language. And so we're going to have that trust level with that person. And that's why I think we need to look at a lot of different translations, not just one. But if you are going to buy one translation or use that as your go-to translation, I would recommend the New Revised Standard Version. Other pastors might have a different answer to that, but that would be my short answer, the New Revised Standard Version. And so in worship on Sunday mornings, you might have noticed that before every scripture reading is read, and we typically have at least 2 scripture readings for a worship service, we have a very brief intro before that scripture reading, just to give it some context right away so that you know maybe who was writing that, who they were writing that scripture to, under maybe what circumstances. But I try to keep that brief. I don't want to make that intro too long. So I hope that's been helpful to you. We've been doing that for, I think, over a year now. And I want to keep doing that because I think context means a lot. And so those are just some of my thoughts about Bible translations, and so I hope that's helpful for you today. I do invite you to join us for worship this Sunday. You can come to either our 9 o'clock or our 10:30 in-person worship service. We also have a live stream on our church's YouTube channel at 10:30. So please join us for worship this Sunday. The theme will be, do not be afraid. And I think that's a very important theme for us to hear. Do not be afraid, based on Jeremiah chapter 1. So if you want to read Jeremiah chapter 1 from whatever translation you'd like in preparation for this Sunday, that would be helpful. And again, happy Holy Hump Day. And also make sure if you see Bob to say happy birthday to him.